In this video, I will demonstrate using Handbrake to convert multiple files. Let's say that you've got a couple or several MP4 video file extensions and you need to convert them to an MKV format extension, and you have very large files that take a long time to convert. With Handbrake, you don't have to wait till one file finishes before you start converting the next file. And I'll show you how to do that in this video. I'm using Ubuntu 18.04. You may have something different. It will work on multiple platforms, Windows, Mac, and Linux. I'm going to go to my Applications folder, Sound, and I'm going to click on Handbrake. Now, as the program is loading, I'm going to show you, I've created, before I started this video, I do have multiple files that I have uploaded onto YouTube, but those are pretty large in size. And when I say large, they're 45 megabytes, which would take about 10 minutes to convert or encode. And if I do two files, that would take about 20 minutes. I know I can pause, but these files are very, very short. They're only 3 megabytes and 2 megabytes long. I did one using a sample of simple screen sample video, and then I did another one of OBS just for samples to show you that that's OBS. This is a sample. So I'm going to convert these sample video 1 and sample video 2 that have the MP4 extensions, both file does, and I'm going to convert them to an MKV format. To do that, I need to load them in the queue. If you look up here, it says show queue, show preview, show activity. I don't have anything in the queue now. As you can see, it says hide queue. I click on that and I go back to my original screen. Now, the difference between loading a single video and multiple videos is when you click on open source. Like in my last video, I demonstrated how to convert no audio MP4 to MP or MKV. I click the file and I click open. This time, I'm going to open multiple files. So instead of clicking on one file, I can click on the folder. See the videos to encode. That is this video folder here, videos to encode. It contains these two videos. I'm going to hit open. And when I do, it's loading both videos. That's the first one. Now it's loading the second one, and it's completed. If you look up here at the titles, now I could put like 5 movies, 6 movies or more, or not just necessarily movies. They could be any video clips containing MP4 or any other format, AVI, MKV, and other formats. As you can see, I got my first video file and my second video file. So I've loaded both video files. Now, the first thing I want to do is, as you can see, both video files have the MP or MP4 extensions. Both of them does. As you can see here, I want to convert them to an MK4. Now, what I do is I go through my presets as I did earlier. I can go to over here, but I can click on this option, and I want to keep the 1080p 0.264 MKV 1080p with 30 frames per second. I click on that. Now, I'm not going to hit start encoding. I'm going to add this to the queue. So you see this button next to open source, add to the queue. Now, when I hit add to the queue, notice what happens to these buttons over here. Notice where it says show preview. Well, notice when I click add to queue, now it says show queue. There's a number next to it. I've added a video file to my queue. All right, let's add the next video file to it. I click on my second video. Now this list could contain as many video files as you want. I'm just choosing 2 to speed up this video. The same thing will happen with more videos. Now, as you can see here, this one is already set to MKV, but to make sure, I can click here, go here, I'll click on the MKV 1080p with 30 frames per second, and this is the second one. I'll go back, click on the first one to make sure it kept it. It is. Now I'm going to go to the second one. I'm ready to add the second one to my queue. I've now added it to the queue. If you look over here, it says show queue, and I'm going to look in what's in my queue. And as you can see, in my queue, I have sample video title 1, or sample video 1, and sample video 2. You can click out to the side to see more information. You can see where it's going to be placed, or the destination, and all of that. Where it's going to be placed is here in the 2, which is the videos folder. Now, both of them will be placed in the videos folder. If I wanted to change this, I could go to videos, I could go to others, but I'm just going to leave them in the videos folder. So that way that it won't be placed in my videos to encode, because those will not be ready to encode. They will already have been encoded. Now, this is like a queue, like when you go to McDonald's or Burger King and you're standing in line at a restaurant. You service the first one in line, then the next one in line, and so on and so forth. This works its way from the top to the bottom as it converts and encodes the video from one format into the other. Now I'm going to start encoding. I'm not going to pause the video because with two short files it should not take long, and then I'll show you the outcome. Now, as I showed you in the video earlier, the pause button is not going to be in effect because I don't have anything to pause because I haven't started it. So when it is dim, it is deactivated, meaning you can't use it. Immediately when I press the start encoding, I then could pause the encoding if I need to. Now, as you can see, it says sample video 2 for both of these files. This really has nothing to do because I'm not working individually. That just happened to be the second video that I put into my queue. I'm going to start encoding and watch what happens. The pause button immediately becomes bold, and it says hide the queue. There's still one in the queue waiting to after this first video is completed, after it's transferred or translated from MP4 to MKV. Then the next one in the queue will be converted as well. And I'll wait. It shouldn't take long. It says about 15 seconds for the first video, jobs 1 of 2, and then when it completes it will start the next one. Now, if you're using large files, you can go to bed, and when you wake up the next morning they should be done if you don't load too many, or you can go to work or school, and when you come back home they should be completed. So you don't have to sit in front of your computer and start the next one. You don't have to watch this process. Alright, now it's taking the next one from the queue. There's no more in the queue, and it's going to convert the next one. So this was your next video. So as you can see here, video 1 is completed. There's a green check in front of sample video 1 indicating it has already converted it to a MKV file format, video format. It is now working on sample video 2, and when it completes there'll be a green check next to it as well. And then we'll take a look at the videos, and then that'll be the end of this illustration or tutorial. We have about 30 seconds remaining, and if you look across to the bottom at the status bar, it shows you the amount of the percentage. So with a large file it will take longer. The shorter the file, the faster this line will grow. Now, if I wasn't screen capturing this video, it would encode a lot quicker because it would use all of my CPU resources or abilities, the power for it, and it will encode it a lot quicker. Because I am using the screen capturing, it is slowing it down somewhat. That's why my last video I paused to let it finish so it wouldn't take as long. Alright, now the encode is complete. I can close down the message. I'll minimize this in case I have to come back. Alright, as you can see, here was my original file, sample video 1 MP4, sample video 2 MP4. Over here I've got sample video 1 MKV, sample video 2 MKV, and they're stored in the videos, not in the videos to encode. Now if I click on the first one, it will take a second or two, and then it loads. This is a sample video. This is to illustrate converting multiple files using Handbrake. This one was me using OBS. This is a sample video. So as you can see, the video quality is as good as the video quality in the MP4, but they did convert them to an MKV format. So what you do is you load them. Before you load them in the queue, you choose what format you would like to encode them to, add them to the queue, and then as each file completes, it will move automatically to the next one until it completes every video in your list. Now, if for some reason you don't understand all of the steps in this video, I do have a link below the video on YouTube on Convert a Video. If you scroll down past the midway point, I do have a section called Converting Multiple Files Using Handbrake. That means adding them to the queue, and I do have step-by-step instructions to how to add files to your queue. That way that you can follow those steps and you should have no problem. Hopefully this has helped you understand how to add multiple files or convert multiple files in Handbrake by adding them to the queue. Good luck.